Hi, welcome to day 15 of our yoga journey inwards. I am so excited to see you here today. We have made it to the halfway point, day 15. Go you! How are you feeling? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've been getting on with this first half of our 30-day yoga journey. Today is all about meeting yourself where you are at. So I'm really excited to come through this yoga flow. It is about not having any judgment on yourself, but just meeting yourself where you are. We're not going to be pushing to go further. We're just going to be coming to the space that feels good for you, the space where you can meet your own edge. So let's begin by sitting at the back of our mats. On our knees, our big toes are going to be together and our knees as wide as the mat. And we're going to walk our hands out, coming through child's pose. So just taking a couple of breaths here in your child's pose, tuning into the body and allowing yourself to be wherever you are now in this moment. So take a moment to assess what is going on for you, what has happened. Maybe you're feeling a certain way. Just honor those emotions and feelings. Maybe you can feel some tightness in a certain area. Acknowledge it and just notice it being there. Allowing the breath to just flow in and out how it naturally does. And then from here we're going to begin to walk our hands to the right side of the mat, placing the left hand on top of the right and getting a nice side body stretch up the left side of the body. Hips are staying grounded in towards the heels. And just reaching through the arms. And beginning to walk the hands back through centre, pausing here a moment before continuing the journey round to the left side. Right hand coming on top of the left and breathing into that right side of the body. And walking the hands back through centre. Lifting the hips off the heels, coming up through tabletop position. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And we're going to extend those right toes back, tucking them under. Right leg comes long. And then lifting that leg up in line with the hip. Breathing here. And then reaching the left arm long. And we're just going to hold here. Turning that core on, engaging through the core. So we can create this long line out the crown of the head and then out the heel of the foot with that left arm reaching long. And then from here we're going to sweep that left arm round towards the leg, bending into the right knee and taking the left hand to the right foot and lifting up here. Opening through the chest, opening through the body. Core stays turned on to help us hold here. Then releasing the clasp of the foot, taking that left arm long, right leg long. Noticing what comes up for you here as we hold. Maybe you're feeling anxious to get moving. Note that that's okay, but just really meet yourself where you are at now. Releasing the left hand to the mat, releasing the right knee down. Pausing here a moment before tucking those left toes and sending that left leg back. Lifting it up from the hip, turning that core on. And then taking the right hand out in front and lifting it up. Holding here. allowing the breath to just come and go through the body. And taking the right hand, sweeping it behind you towards that left foot, bending the left foot, clasping the foot with the hand, and lifting up and opening. Open through the chest. And meeting your edge. Where does this feel good for you? And then releasing the foot. Taking the leg long, right hand comes out, lifting up, out and away out of that left shoulder and left arm. And releasing that right hand to the mat, left knee joins it. Walking the knees back slightly, lowering down onto your belly. Then when you're on your belly, bringing those elbows under the shoulders, pressing down into the hands as if you are trying to rip your mat in half. So coming down into the hands as if you're ripping your mat apart, lifting up, out and away out of the elbows, open through the chest. Gently tilting that tailbone under towards the mat. For Cobra Pose. We're going to be coming through lots of heart openers today as we work towards our peak pose, which is also going to be a heart opener. So just coming to the space that feels good for you in each posture. Meet yourself where you're at. Where is your edge? Now grounding down even more into those hands and lifting the elbows up off the mat. Now if you come to this position, seal position, and it feels a little too much, then just lower those elbows back down to the mat. Tune into your body. All our bodies are individual, right? I don't know how you feel. Only you can, so meet yourself where you are at. Lowering the elbows down, coming back through Sphinx, and then lowering the down. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, lifting up into Cobra, and then exhale back into your child's pose. Lifting back up through tabletop, tucking the toes and sending the hips up to the sky. Down dog. And bend the knees, look between the hands and step forward to find your half lift. Long through the spine here. Exhale, fold over the legs. Round down into the feet. Lifting up. Coming to stand in Tadasana. So big toes together, heels slightly apart. Or walking your feet out hips distance. Grounding down into the feet, lifting up through the legs, tailbone gently tilted, shoulders down away from the ears, palms faced up, out. Open through the chest, long through the spine, crown of the head towards the roof. As you inhale, reach those arms up overhead, and exhale, fold forward over the legs. Find your half lift long through the spine. Then plant your hands and step the right foot back. That back knee is lifted here. Becoming light on your fingertips, open up through the chest. Now you can have the option here to grab your blocks, placing them under your hands so that you can open the chest a little bit more. Breathe in here. Then grounding down into the feet and lifting the chest up off the leg, reaching the arms up overhead. Now as we exhale, we're going to bend at the elbows, open the chest into goalpost arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. Where does this feel good for you? Then reaching the arms up, exhaling the hands down, coming back to the block. Now grounding that right hand down into the block or into the mat if you don't have a block, and opening up to the left side. Breathe in here. Bringing that left hand down to the mat. Stepping that back foot, the front foot back to meet the right foot. Plank position, holding your plank. Then lowering your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Push through, coming up into cobra. Then exhale back to down dog. Now in this downward dog we're going to have a little time, so move your dog a little bit, walking the legs, find what feels good for you here. Then inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it between the hands. Open through the chest. Finding those blocks if you have them and bringing them underneath the hands so you can open up a little bit more. And grounding down into the feet as you lift the chest up. Reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, bend into the elbows, goalpost arms. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. Inhale, reach. Then planting the hands down on the blocks. Grounding down into the left block or floor. Open up to the right side. Can you open that chest a little more? Where is your edge? Where can you meet yourself a little deeper here? Then bringing that left hand down, moving the blocks out of the way, and stepping that back foot forward. Find your half lift, long through the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Ground down into the feet, reaching those arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Find your half lift. Plant the hands and this time step the left foot back. Find those blocks if you have them. Open through the chest. Lifting up, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale, bend and open as you exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. This time sweep the arms behind you and take a clasp of the hands and really allow that chest to open up as you send those hands down the back of the left leg. Now, on your next exhale, folding forward over that right leg, bringing the right shoulder to the right knee. Allowing those hands to just lift up to wherever they come. Lifting back up, open through the chest. Then unclasping the hands and lowering that back foot for warrior two. Breathe in here, letting go. Now, where do you need to adjust in your warrior two to feel good, to feel confident, to feel strong, to feel like your warrior, or like the warrior you are, sorry. Then straighten through that front leg, turning both the toes towards the long side of the mat. We're going to take the hands behind us, taking that clasp with the hands again, open through the chest, and as we exhale, fold forward with a long spine over the legs. Allowing gravity to just drop those arms back and over you. On your next inhale, lifting up, coming through center, unclasping the hands, turning that front foot back out, lifting up onto the back foot toes, and then lowering the hands down towards the mat, grounding down into that left hand and opening up to the right side. Sweeping that right hand down to the mat, lowering the back knee this time. And again, from here, we're going to ground down into that left hand and begin to bend that back knee and taking that right hand back to that left foot, open up to the side of the mat here. Now, if this feels like a little much for you, that's okay. You can just be taking the action of reaching your hand back for your foot. Finding what feels good for you here, meeting yourself at your edge. Releasing the foot, tucking those toes and stepping back through plank. Holding here in plank a moment. Before lowering the knees, chest and chin to the mat. Push through and open up the chest for cobra. Exhale back to meet in down dog. Now inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step it between the hands. Find those blocks. Lifting up, opening through the chest. And grounding down into the legs as you lift the chest up, reaching the arms overhead. Move with your exhales, bending the elbows, opening the chest. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open up. And then sweeping those hands down behind you, clasping the hands with the other pinky on top, and open up through the chest. As you exhale, leaning forward over that front left leg, left shoulder coming to the inner left knee. Lifting back up, open through the chest. And exhale, unclasp the hands. Drop that back foot for warrior two. Now sinking in here, where is your edge in this warrior? Where can you find power? Where can you feel like the most warrior version of yourself? Then straightening through that front leg, turning both the toes towards the long side of the mat. This time we're going to take our hands to our hips. Inhale, open up through the chest. Exhale, fold forward over those legs, bringing the hands to the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, long through the spine, and exhale, fold in. Now you can keep your hands on your mat here, or you might take your hands and clasp the ankles. Finding what feels good for you. Now if you've taken your hands to your ankles, just bringing them to the mat in front of you. Inhale, lifting halfway. Then bringing those hands back to the hips and lifting up through centre. Turning those back toes to the front of the mat. Lifting up onto that back toes. Lowering the hands down to the mat. Grounding down into that right hand and opening up to the left side. Bringing the hands down to the mat, lowering that back knee, grounding down into that right hand again, and then taking that left hand behind you, taking it towards that back foot, bending into that back knee and lifting the foot up off the mat and opening through the chest here. Now you should really be beginning to feel this into the right thigh, right hip area. And if you're not, just adjust until you feel it there. And again, like I said before, if you can't quite reach the foot, that's okay. Just take the action of reaching towards it. And releasing that foot, bringing that hand down to the mat, tucking those back toes and stepping forward. Coming into a half lift. Exhale, fold over the legs, ground down into the feet, reaching the arms up overhead, and exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Find your half lift, then plant the hands and step back through plank. Now this time, if you want to come through chaturanga, you can, otherwise come through knees, chest and chin. Whatever feels good for you. Lifting up into cobra and exhale back to down dog. Then bending the knees and bringing them down to the mat, sinking the hips back onto the heels and just finding your blocks. We're going to bring our blocks in beside our heels here. So you can take them at whatever height you feel you need. You might start with them on the highest height. We're going to come into camel pose here. So if you've done it before and you feel really confident in where you want to go, then take it to whatever option. Otherwise, if you haven't come through this position much before, then you might keep the blocks at the highest height. From here, we're going to lift up over our knees. So our knees are directly underneath us. And we're going to begin the first time coming through this posture by taking our hands to our lower back, and we're just going to point our fingers down towards our bottoms. So keeping the hands here as a support, our knees are directly under our hips. As we inhale, we're going to begin to open through the chest, leaning back, hips are still over those knees, pushing forward as we open through the chest. Taking some rounds of breath here. Shoulders down away from your ears, coming to your edge. Then on your inhale, lifting up through center and just sinking those hips back onto the knees, onto the feet, And just pausing here a moment. On your next inhale, lifting back up. Bringing those hands behind you, opening through the chest. Now, option to stay here if here feels like enough for you. Otherwise, if you want to take your hands behind you towards your blocks, then option to do so. Might need to walk those blocks in a little closer, finding what feels good. Open through the chest. And if you feel like you want a little bit more, you might take those blocks even lower. Now to come out of this pose, we're going to take one hand to our back, the other, and lift up. Sinking those hips back to the heels. Pausing here a moment. Now, option to continue with the blocks, or if you want to come a little deeper in the next round, you might move those blocks out of the way. Lifting up onto the knees and tucking those toes under. Then sending the hips towards the front of the mat. Open through the chest, hands to the back of the mat as you lift up and out of the chest. Then option to take your hands to your block or your ankles. Sending those hips forward, really open through that chest here. Shoulders are down and away from the ears. Breathing here. Meet your edge. Then to come out of it, either bringing the hands to the lower back or one hand in front of the heart, then the other, and lifting up. Untucking the toes, sending the hips back to the heels, walking the knees as wide as the mat, and then sinking down into your extended child's pose. And allowing yourself to feel whatever comes up here for you. This is our counter pose. So you might feel some quite strong shifts in energy. You might feel it within your body. Just notice. And now from here we're going to bring our right hand back towards us and we're going to sweep it under the left shoulder, bringing the right ear towards the mat. Just coming into a nice gentle wee twist here. And coming back through centre, reaching the arms forward. And then taking the left hand, sweeping it under the right, coming down onto the left ear. And a gentle twist. And then coming back through centre. Before walking the hands back towards you, coming up through sit. We're going to come down onto our backs at this point. So moving forward slightly, lowering down onto your back and bringing the knees in towards the chest here. And then taking your hands to your knees and just allowing those knees to drop open into the underarms. Sending the feet up towards the sky and taking your hands and clasping them around the feet for happy baby. You might rock in this happy baby a little side to side, really allowing that back to loosen off.
Relax. And then when you're ready, find some stillness here. And then releasing the clasp of the hands and bringing those knees into the chest for one final big hug before allowing the feet to lengthen out long, legs drop open, arms come down beside you, palms faced up for Shavasana. Letting go here of everything and just simply being present in this moment with yourself. And from here, beginning to lengthen the inhales and the exhales. Taking some movements through the fingers and the toes. Reaching the arms and taking them overhead. Before bending the knees and rolling to the right side. Pausing here for a moment to find space for gratitude. And then when you're ready, making your way up to sit. Just taking the head and allowing yourself some time for some gentle circles. Before taking the arms up overhead, bringing them down in front of the heart. Hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to our heart centers, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed our day 15 practice and that you were able to meet yourself where you were at. I hope that you were able to discover some things about yourself, about your edge, about how it feels to be in certain poses. I am so excited to continue the next 15 days with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.